Hi and welcome back. If you're sitting CIMA Strategic Case Study in May or August 26, this video is for you. The printing company is Kwirtmak, a commercial 3D printer manufacturer. And today we're going to look into the industry they operate in, additive manufacturing or 3D printing. Now, I know some of you might be thinking the industry is not actually examined. And you're right, it isn't. But here's why it matters anyway. The exam gives you a scenario. That scenario will reference market dynamics, competitor behavior, technology shifts, supply chain pressures, and the candidates who score highest aren't the ones who know the pre-scene inside out. They're the ones who clearly understand the world in which Kwirtmak operates. That commercial awareness is what lifts your answer from generic to genuinely convincing. So in this video, in part 1 out of 2, we're going to cover what additive manufacturing actually is, how the market is structured, where the growth is coming from, and crucially, what's driving demand across the sectors Kwirtmak sells into: aerospace, medical, automotive, and jewellery. Part 2, which goes deeper into technologies, the competitive landscape, Porter's 5 forces, and the exam triggers, that's available inside our full SCS study packages at Practices Academy. But let's start here. Let's make sure you understand this industry right now. So, over to you, Nisha.
Welcome to the Kwirtmak industry analysis. In this video, we're going to go through the additive manufacturing and commercial 3D printing industry, which is the current industry your pre-scene is based on. So let's dive into it. So in this document or in this video, I have 3 aims I want to realize. First, I want you to use this contents of this video to really understand the industry. You need to understand the industry or the world in which Kwirtmak operates at, because obviously this is very important for you. Second, to understand key trends and risk of the industry, because these are the forces that are shaping the market in which we operate in. And in effect, these form exam triggers. And of course, third, there are points in this which you can directly use on the day of your exam. Certain facts, certain real company examples, real context, which will make your answer more credible. Because remember, the CIMA markers are always looking for students who are able to demonstrate genuine commercial awareness, and therefore the industry analysis plays a big role in this regard. So let's jump into so this is the contents. Now we'll jump into the overview. So the overview of the industry is very important you understand what this industry is. So what is additive manufacturing? So we commonly know additive manufacturing as, we can say, 3D printing or 3D machines, 3D printing machines. Now, if you look at traditional manufacturing, tends to be subtractive in nature. That means you start maybe with a block of metal or plastic, you cut it, you drill it, you grind it, you throw away everything else, and then you come up with the manufacturing. But in 3D printing or additive manufacturing, it's the opposite. You build objects by adding material layer by layer from a digital design file. So that's the key thing. We use a digital design file to create the object in an additive manner. So just understanding this should help you understand that there are some significant benefits, therefore, of additive manufacturing. Enormous implications. For an example, waste can be reduced. Design complexity can be enhanced. It enables more complexity. Cost can be reduced. Better geometrics, better physical construction. Using only the materials you need is possible, therefore, through additive manufacturing. So therefore, you can see additive manufacturing as a new way of manufacturing. Now, we are a commercial grade 3D printer manufacturer. So we sell our products to industrial clients across the aerospace, automotive, medical, and jewelry sector. So now this is also from your pre-sale. So we are not just selling to those who do 3D printing as a hobby, but we are selling precision-based industrial 3D printers, which will cost very high amounts because they can produce real functional production grade parts. Now that's what we are focusing on. We're not focusing on small hobby-based 3D printers. So if you look at the 4 market segments of the industry, one is you have polymer printing and metal laying. So polymer printing is one segment and metal AM is another segment. So polymer printing is the most common. So this is where you will use plastic filaments and resin materials like nylon, and you will produce various 3D printing objects. Now these can be prototypes and whatnot. Then you have metal additive manufacturing. This is basically where you have lasers or electron beams fusing maybe metal powders, and you produce more stronger high strength metal components like titanium products used for the aerospace industry or cobalt chrome products used for the medical implants. So these tend to be more high value. So these two fall mainly under the 3D printers itself. So these are the 3D printers we sell. So it's mainly one broad segment, 2 types of printers. Then you have the software and services. So this is a very fast revenue growing segment. So this is where we bundle the 3D printers with our software because you need, remember we said we have digital files. So we need software, design software, print management platforms, cloud connectivity to be bundled with the hardware to be able to set up the manufacturing and to print. So this is a growing part of every additive manufacturing company's strategy. So we need to ask ourselves, is this a major part of our strategy? Finally, we have the materials. So these are the materials we sell. So we sell this metal, we sell the powders, we sell the resins, we sell the filaments for our proprietary printer brand. So these are the main categories. So if I was just going to bring it out in simple terms, it would be the 3D printers themselves. So here 2 main types are given. Then the software. And then you have the, I would say, software and services. So we offer additional services like maybe consultancy. And then the materials we sell to go with the printer. So they are the key segments of a typical manufacturer of a commercial grade 3D printer. So if you also focus on the industry in terms of its size, if you look at the industry, the global AM market is growing. In 2023, it was valued at $20 billion and it's expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 20% over around a 7-year period to 2030 to be between 80 to 88 billion dollars. So this shows us that we are operating in a massive high growth market. So there is definite potential for us to increase revenue. There's definite potential for us to harness this market growth if we do the right things. Now in terms, where is the demand coming from? Right now the demand is dominated or is predominantly demanded in North America. So 40 to 46% of global revenue from this additive manufacturing comes from North America, driven by their aerospace and defense sectors, and also their dense research ecosystem within the country, the university system. But on the other hand, Asia Pacific is the fastest growing. So it is set to maybe outpace North America with companies like China's Fastone and BLT. They are gaining market share fast. And they are therefore a direct competitive threat even to European companies and North American companies. So right now, North America leads, second by Europe, but Asia Pacific is quickly gaining traction, mainly by China and Japan because of their rising adoption of additive manufacturing. So that's the basic market overview. So we understood what additive manufacturing is, what are the segments, what is the market size, what's the growth, and we also understand what the regional growth is also. Now let's look at what is driving the industry. What is the market drivers? If the industry is forecast to grow, there has to be reasons for this. The main underlying reasons for the growth is demand from end industries. So when we say demand from end industries, we have demand from mainly from the aerospace and defense industry. This is the largest and the most demanding application for 3D printing. So aerospace engineers are obsessed with weight. Every kilogram removed from an aircraft means less fuel. So lightweight means less fuel being used, burnt across millions of flight hours. And also you can produce geometrically complex components, which are normally very expensive to produce. So because of that, the aerospace industry very highly uses 3D printing. And also these parts that are produced, like from, if you look at GE Aviation, they print their 3D fuel nozzles and it's replacing the normal assembly line. And these parts are so much more lighter and so much more durable. They are lighter and durable than traditional means. So that's the main reason why it's highly used. Then even Airbus has their titanium brackets, which are also much less weight to carry in the aircraft. Then in addition for aircraft, just maintenance, repairs. For this also on-demand printing. So we touched on this, or we spoke about this quite a lot in the pre-scene analysis. On-demand printing of certified spare parts to be able to quickly print a part that has worn out to get the aircraft back on flight. Helps reduce costs, helps reduce wait time, avoids the need to sacrifice income, all of that through 3D printing. So you can see the application for aerospace very clearly. Next, the medical and dental industry. So the medical and dental industry is another fast-growing segment and a key end user which is going to promote the growth of 3D printers. So this is the need for mass customization. So to be able to print patient-specific implants, surgical guides, prosthetics tailored to an individual's exact anatomy is the main attraction when it comes to 3D printing in the medical and dental industry. So there are many applications given here on the right-hand side of how companies like Stryker are using patient-specific implants. So 3D printed porous titanium structures that promote bone ingrowth. So this is impossible with traditional casting, now made possible with 3D printing. Then dental AM boom. So you have in the dental industry, additive manufacturing is used a lot for crowns, and for various dental appliances. Next, we have the automotive industry. So this is mainly one for prototyping and second for producing components for luxury vehicles. So for luxury vehicles, you want to produce certain component, interior components, tailor-made components, unique components, even for, you think of Formula One teams, for them to produce certain autodynamic components. All of this can be done using 3D printing. 3D printing. And this is also another fast-growing application. So we have BMW using it for customized components. We have Bugatti using it for their titanium calipers. So a lot of application. The next driver is digitalization, or we call it Industry 4. So with AI, you can have a whole digital thread technology that connects your design files directly to your printer, to the quality control system, and you can use your entire AI-powered design tools to create or to produce optimum components easily. So with Industry 4, of course, the demand also for digital printing is on the rise. So overall technological improvement is definitely driving digital printing. The next reason is sustainability. So I think by now you should be quite aware that 3D printing promotes sustainability in a great way. Reduces waste up to 90% compared to traditional subtractive manufacturing. Reduces fuel consumption over an asset's lifetime. For an example, if you think of an aircraft, lighter weight, less fuel consumption, on-demand printing on site. So now you have less transport costs. So if you think about sustainability, you have a lot of applications. Reduction of waste, reduced transport costs when you can produce it on site. Then you have reduced consumption, fuel consumption if you think of certain industries. You think of aerospace industry, reduce fuel consumption. So overall, the sustainability aspect of 3D printing through localized manufacturing, additive manufacturing is a key reason why the industry is set to grow, with people becoming more conscious of sustainability. Next, again, the jewelry and luxury goods industry is growing. So for the jewelry industry, people are not looking at cost necessarily, but they are looking at high resolution, good quality. The market favors quality and uniqueness. So as they favor quality and uniqueness, 3D printing becomes a fit, because 3D printing, certain 3D printers have the ability to get that precision, that fine quality finish, which is hard with traditional manufacturing. So those were the key market drivers and trends. So what I want you to take back home is mainly the industry is going to grow because of the demand from the end users. In addition, aspects like sustainability promoted by the industry, overall technological growth, Industrial Revolution 4 are set to benefit the industry as well.
So you now understand what this industry is, where it's growing, what's driving demand. That's your foundation. In part 2, we go into the printer technologies, the real-world competitive landscape, and how the major players are positioning, including some recent M&A and news that's actually very relevant to Kwirtmak's situation. That's available inside our SCS study packages at Practices Academy, link in the description. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. We'll hopefully see you in the part 2. Good luck!